In this video, we're going to share our experience as we hiked through some of the trails in Badlands National Park.
So if you're interested in visiting and are doing research or just want to relive the experience, let's go. From learning to traveling adventurers, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a video every Wednesday. Hey friends! So we recently went to Badlands National Park and we hiked some of the trails that I found on All Trails listed on the top 10 hikes in South Dakota. Originally I planned for 2 days in Badlands National Park, but Austin thought it was more of a one-day kind of visit.
Yeah, there aren't that many trails there, and a lot of the things that you're going to be seeing are very similar. It's a huge park, but you can do most of it in a day.
So we're going to start off with the Castle Trail because that's the first trail that we hiked.
We came from the Black Hills, Custer State Park area, to the Badlands.
The couple of hikes that we did the previous days were very foresty, whereas Badlands National Park was very dry and deserty.
It's almost like concrete. And you get some elevation and stuff. There are all these buttes, and there's nothing growing on them. They're just kind of muddy walls.
Throughout the trail, it kind of looked like you were on another planet with all of the rocks and the dried buttes and mud. But then, after a while, it started looking all the same. Two fellow hikers advised us that the rest of the Castle Trail is very much the same.
Just like I told you originally, like 8 hours ago and last night. If you take the Medicine Loop part of the Castle Trail, or it connects to the Castle Trail, you get some nice vistas, so you kind of see the mountainous region from afar. And then on the actual Castle Trail, you're actually up close next to the rock formations. That's kind of the difference between the two. When we got on the trail, we knew there were no trees, there's no shade.
Where is the shade?
Right here. The Castle Trail is pretty long, so be sure and, bring your water.
Bring sunscreen, bring a hat.
I think maybe if you were there trying to catch wildlife, maybe you'd want to explore the whole trail or stay out at a certain spot. But yeah, we decided just to do the trail with the loop back.
Originally, we tried to park at the Saddle Pass Trail parking lot, but it was pretty small, or it was just like really busy.
It was very small and very busy.
But we didn't know about this. It's called the Old Northeast Road. This is the end of the split between the Medicine Loop and the Castle Trail. And Austin recommends
just coming and parking here, doing the small leg of the Castle Trail, and then looping back onto the Medicine Loop.
So we're telling you now, pro tip. I haven't seen trail markers like this before as regularly as they were showing up on the Castle Trail.
There was a lot of them, and they were these skinny little sticks.
Skinny little red sticks.
But I think there were a lot because in areas the grass is so sparse that you couldn't tell that it was like well trod.
Especially through like the canyon areas. You could have gone any direction that you wanted to, but if you wanted to stay on the trail and actually get back to your car, then you should follow these red sticks. And we're gonna get there. And I think I see it, it's over there. While there are a couple of picnic areas in Badlands National Park, there weren't any where all of the group of trailheads were located. So I ended up just eating in our car.
I'm gonna laugh. There's like a bench right there.
Comment below and tell us if you've ever been to Badlands National Park or if you'd ever visit.
There's a really nice view at the end of the Notch Trail. Where you get to, you're standing in the Notch, looking out over the Badlands.
What part is the Notch?
This. It's a notch.
Where?
We're in the Notch. Because it's like a cutout where you can, it's a notch where you can look out.
Oh. Alright.
It's a good view. This is by far the best hike we've done here.
The window trail was an extremely short trail. It was 0.25 miles, and there was a small paved bridge. It's not paved, it's
Decked. It was a deck. There was a lot of people on that deck. It was like a stroll. You walk out and there it is. They're right 5 feet away.
It was a very nice vista out to the Badlands and all of its beauty and layers, especially at sunset. It was very, very nice.
We went there at sunset.
Towards sunset.
Towards sunset, yes. So we did the window. It was the last trail we did. And once again, this one, the beginning starts out kind of like the door where it's all decked. It's a little bit further to get to the end of the decking, but there's kind of a nice little place you could sit there. So very accessible for that portion of it. It does go down onto like a trail portion, and then it has a bunch of numbered markers, and we did not have whatever goes with the numbered markers.
Pamphlet or a guide.
You can pick up a guide probably at the visitor center or somewhere. Maybe you can download it. I don't know. We didn't do that. So we didn't know what all the numbers were telling us to look at, so we kind of just skipped through them. And we get to the end and it kind of just is like, this is the end. And it does like look into the canyon of the Badlands, but if you turn around, and I think this is what you're supposed to do, turn around and look, you can see a nice view. And I think one of those kind of notches is probably what's referred to as the door.
Some of the other trails that we did not get to hike are Cliff Shelf, the Saddle Pass, and the Fossil Exhibit Trail.
We did drive by the fossil exhibit, but realized that they just have like recreations of the fossils. So the actual fossils aren't there. But if you have kids, you know, maybe you want to do a little educational thing, that seems kind of neat.
On our way out of the national park, about sunset time, we decided to go towards Roberts Prairie Dog Town and the Sage Creek Basin Overlook because we didn't see a lot of wildlife throughout the day.
Yeah, nothing except some birds.
Chipmunks, vultures, anything else?
Bunny.
Bunny. But luckily, on the way to Roberts Prairie Dog Town, oh snap, that is a buffalo.
He's gonna charge.
What? Why would he charge?
He's gonna charge into that vehicle. It was the only buffalo we saw in Badlands. The Sage Creek Basin Overlook. I feel like we got really lucky. So we went to the prairie dog town. Mallory played around with prairie dogs. And then we were driving back and pulled over at the overlook, and the sun was setting and it was beautiful. There was another couple there with the camera. Just beautiful colors, a really nice overlook of the Badlands.
The footage that I have does not do it justice. Not even a bit.
And prairie dogs everywhere.
There were prairie dogs everywhere.
So many prairie dogs.
It was a long, rewarding, nature-filled day, and one might say that
We conquered the Badlands.
now you know a little bit more about the trails in Badlands National Park if you're interested in visiting. I've also got a couple of videos on great areas to hike in Portland and Arkansas and where else?
Santa Fe.
Santa Fe.
So thanks for watching and smash the like button.
Make sure to subscribe and we'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye.
Badlands. Oh my gosh, a bug. So you could...
Just like the Badlands.
Sometimes what?